Grifter number 13, written by Rob Liefeld and Frank Thierry, art by Merritt Michaels. This is something. So, the Zero issue set up that there was this guy named Warwick who helped Grifter way back in the day. And I thought that seemingly contradicted his entire backstory. But when I thought about it some more, it made even less sense. So just don't think about it. Anyway, we have Grifter. He's scaling a space station, but not just any space station. It is Stormwatch's Eye of the Storm. And he's like, boy, bet you're wondering how I got here. And then we see the flashback of him talking to Warwick, who just, I guess, contacted him at some point saying, hey, in Superman number 12, Hellspont killed all the Damonites on Earth. Because why not? And as such, there's a conspiracy in place of how they even managed to get into positions of power in the first place. So we got to go figure out who did that, because we can't be battling Damonites anymore if they're all dead. So now we've pivoted. So he's like, all right, so look, we got to break into places like Argus, Shade, Star Labs, stuff like that. And Grifter's like, I think I know someplace better, someplace that has access to all those files, and it's all in one centralized location. And he's like, seriously, where? And he's like, you don't need to know that, but trust me, I can do it. So at this point, he's broken into the Stormwatch Eye of the Storm, and the computer system, which is run by Damonite AI, has picked up on him. He's like, I know you're here, Cole Cash. And he's like, oh, crap. Then we cut back to how he got onto the ship, where he's partnered up with Voodoo, which I believe was teased at the end of Voodoo, maybe also partially in Grifter. Can't remember, but regardless, they're fighting through a bunch of Rent-A-Cops at Star Labs, and seemingly murdering all of them, though it does say that Grifter's shooting them only in their kneecaps, as we clearly see him shooting one, like, right where his heart is. So, iffy on that, but regardless, he breaks into Star Labs, and apparently he was looking for a teleporter in order to teleport up to the Eye of the Storm. He makes out with Voodoo for a second, and then disappears. Because I guess now they're a romantic thing. But anyway, he teleports onto the outside of the ship and starts climbing his way in. Cut back to present again. And he's basically just hacking his way through doors, trying to get to wherever it is he's going, until finally he is met by Apollo, who the ship has notified that, hey, someone is on board. So Apollo starts knocking the crap out of Grifter. Grifter turns around, sets Apollo on fire using, as far as I can tell, just a handheld flamethrower, which he says he was saving for Martian Manhunter, but hey, this works too. And then he tasers Apollo before he can get his wits back, which I guess works. So then he makes his way over to the central computer, shuts down the Damonite AI, and it's like, all right, so who's in charge? Who has the most, like, pivotal position that they could do all of this and get all the Damonites in there? And he comes across Amanda Waller. So he starts downloading all the files, and Midnighter shows up, realizes Apollo's been knocked out, and then he's like, wait a minute, Grifter, I killed you. That was in your own series. Like, that was a couple issues ago. And he's like, yeah, Grifter guy, he's totally dead. I'm someone else. I'm just leaving now. And he's like, no, you aren't. So they get into a fight, but this time Grifter, because of his TK telekinetic properties, he's actually able to land some hits on Midnighter. Knocks him out for just long enough for him to get to his files. Hops back on the teleporter, and is like, all right, bye, I'm out. And Midnighter, before he can escape, jumps through the teleporter as well. And Apollo's just left there going like, what happened? That's it. Very brief, very quick issue. I feel like Rob and Frank Thierry, like Rob Liefeld and Frank Thierry, I feel like they didn't have any say in the fact that all of the Damonites were killed. And so they were just like, crap. That's literally the entire plot to our book. What do we do now? And they just had to pivot to this thing of like, well, how did they get into positions of power in the first place? So I don't know. It's a bit weak in that regard. Mind you, if this is the only thing that they're teaming up with Voodoo for, which again is a thing where it's like, oh, Voodoo, she's got a lot on Daemonites, but then it's like, oh, wait, they're all dead again. I really feel like Superman 12 just ruined all the plans for like everything going on here, because for the entire first year, it felt like this entire corner of the DC universe was just all Daemonite all the time. And then Scott Lobdell came in and said, now they're all dead. And it's just like, well, I guess our books are over. Jesus. So, I don't know. It's very, very weak in how they managed to pivot. In terms of the art here, not great. A lot of like very empty backgrounds and very low details on the people themselves. It just felt a bit rushed, I guess is the best way I could put it. Like there's one panel in here of Cole stepping into the teleporter in front of Voodoo, and it's literally the same exact panel 3 times, just with different color corrections and effects on it. Like, it just feels rushed. So, not a great issue overall. Definitely a change of pace, but I can't say it's for the better. I'm going to have to say this one's like a 5. It's not... in fact, you know what? I'm going 4.5 on it. It's not good. It's not it's genuinely like a okay. Like, what are you... This is just like completely separate from everything we were looking at before. And it's not organic. It's literally just Frankensteining the book to keep it going, and it's completely unnecessary. So 4.5. Hopefully they can limp to the finish soon enough.